Have you ever wondered what happens to the cars that nobody wants? For the last few years, we've been told there's a massive vehicle shortage, that you're lucky if you can even find a car to buy, let alone get a discount. Well, I have some news for you. Those days are officially over. Right now, across the country, car dealerships are turning into expensive parking lots. New vehicles are piling up, gathering dust, and sitting for months on end. If you're looking for a deal, these are the cars you have the most leverage on. But before you sign that paperwork, you need to know why they aren't selling. Let's get into the list. Number 10, the 2025 Nissan Murano. Coming in at number 10 is the Nissan Murano. For a long time, the Murano sat in a weird middle ground, not quite a luxury SUV, but a bit too fancy to be a budget crossover. For 2025, Nissan finally gave it a massive overhaul. They ditched the old school look for a design inspired by their electric Aria, and honestly, the interior is actually pretty nice now, featuring dual 12.3-inch screens and massaging seats. But here's the problem. They swapped out the tried-and-true V6 engine for a 2.0-liter turbo four-cylinder. While it's technically modern, it's actually less powerful than the engine it replaced. Combine that with the fact that Nissan as a brand has been through the ringer lately, dealing with financial losses and a shaky reputation for quality, and buyers just aren't lining up. Right now, there's a 191-day supply of Muranos. With nearly 15,000 units sitting unsold, dealers are getting very nervous about this one. It's a tough sell when people are flocking to more stable options from Toyota or Honda. Number 9, the Infiniti QX55. Next up is the Infiniti QX55. Infiniti really hoped this would be their cool car, a sleek, coupe-like SUV meant to compete with the likes of BMW and Mercedes. But there's a glaring issue. It's built on old bones. Underneath that stylish shell is the architecture of the QX50, a platform that's been around since 2019. In the car world, that's an eternity. When you're asking people to pay an average of $54,000, you can't offer them an interior and a driving experience that feels 5 years behind the competition. The variable compression turbo engine sounds cool in a brochure, but in the real world, drivers complain it's jerky and not nearly as fuel efficient as advertised. With a 188-day supply, the QX55 is a classic example of style over substance failing to win over buyers who know they can get a better driving German rival for just a few $1,000s more. Number 8, the 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-E. The Mach-E was supposed to be Ford's big statement in the EV world, and at first it was, but the honeymoon period is officially over. The EV market is cooling down fast, and the Mach-E is feeling the chill more than most. The biggest red flag for anyone looking at this car is the depreciation. We are seeing reports of these things losing up to 50% of their value in the very first year. That is a financial bloodbath for an owner. To make matters worse, Ford actually had to raise prices recently because of new tariffs, making the Mach-E even harder to justify. Why would a buyer choose this when Tesla is slashing prices and other rivals are offering better range and tech? Dealers are currently staring at a 198-day supply, with nearly 15,000 of these electric ponies waiting for a home. If you want one, wait 6 months and buy it used for half the price, or negotiate like your life depends on it at the dealership. Number 7, the 2025 Volkswagen ID.4. Sticking with the EV theme, we have the Volkswagen ID.4. This car was marketed as the electric car for the average Joe, but the average Joe is having some serious second thoughts. The ID.4 has been plagued by software gremlins. We're talking about infotainment screens that go black, glitchy gear shifts, and a user interface that feels like it was designed by someone who has never used a smartphone. When you're paying mid to high $40K for a car, you expect the screen to work. Car Edge data shows that the ID.4 is also a depreciation disaster, losing about 60% of its value over 5 years. Because of these tech headaches and the massive loss in value, dealers are currently sitting on a 262-day supply. With over 4,600 units idling on lots, it's clear that Volkswagen needs to do more than just offer German engineering to move these units. Number 6, the Land Rover Discovery. The Land Rover Discovery is a car that tries to do everything. It wants to be a luxury cruiser, a hardcore off-roader, and a 7-passenger family hailer. The problem, it's failing to convince buyers it's worth the $75,000 price tag. Land Rover has a legendary and being in the shop more than on the road. In 2025, luxury buyers have zero patience for infotainment glitches or build quality issues, especially when they can go across the street and buy a Lexus or a BMW that feels bulletproof. The Disco is currently stuck with a 209-day market supply. People love the idea of a Land Rover, but when it comes time to sign a $1,200 a month lease, they're choosing the brands that won't leave them stranded on the side of the road. Number 5, 5, the 2025 Porsche Taycan. It's almost shocking to see a Porsche on this list, but the Taycan is currently a victim of its own success. When it first came out, it was the must-have EV, but now the market is flooded with them, and the depreciation is nothing short of terrifying. You can find used Taycans today for literally 60% off their original sticker price. Imagine buying a car for $120,000 and finding out 2 years later it's worth $50,000. That is a $70,000 pill that most buyers aren't willing to swallow. Even with Porsche's updates to the battery and charging speeds, the demand for high-end EVs is cratering. The Taycan is now spending an average of 241 days on dealer lots. It's an incredible machine to drive, but it's an absolute nightmare for your bank account, and the market has finally caught on. Number 4, the Audi A6. The Audi A6 has always been the sophisticated choice for the executive who doesn't want the flashiness of a Mercedes, but the current A6 is essentially a dead man walking. Audi has already announced that the A6 as we know it is being phased out to make room for an all-electric version. Why would anyone spend $67,000 on a car that is about to become the old model? It's sitting on an aging platform, the tech is starting to look dated compared to the brand new BMW 5 Series, and the depreciation is estimated at nearly 50% over 5 years. Dealers are currently holding a 368-day supply of these sedans. That's more than a full year's worth of inventory. If you're a fan of internal combustion Audis, this is your chance to get a massive discount because dealers are desperate to clear these out before the new electric models arrive. Number 3, the Range Rover Velar. The Velar is arguably one of the best-looking SUVs on the road today. It's sleek, it's minimalistic, and it has incredible presence. But as they say, beauty is only skin deep. The Velar is officially being discontinued with no replacement in sight. That alone is enough to kill resale value. But the real nail in the coffin is the reliability. Consumer Reports consistently ranks the Velar at the bottom of its class. We're talking about timing chain failures and electronics that act like they have a mind of their own. If you buy a Velar for $74,000 today, expect it to be worth about $28,000 in 5 years. That is a 62% drop in value. Because of this, they are sitting for an average of 241 days. It's a beautiful car to look at, but a very expensive one to own. Number 2, the Audi Q4 e-tron. Audi's attempt at a compact electric SUV, the Q4 e-tron, is currently facing a total rejection from the market. On paper, it looks fine, but in reality, it's struggling to find an identity. It's more expensive than a Tesla Model Y, but it has less range, slower software, and a charging network that isn't nearly as reliable as the same less Tesla model. Buyers in the $55,000 plus range are becoming very picky. They don't just want an electric Audi, they want a vehicle that justifies its premium price. With reports of software glitches and a ride quality that feels a bit un-Audi-like, people are walking across the street to buy a Hyundai Ioniq 5 or a Kia EV6, cars that actually feel more futuristic than the Audi. The result is a staggering 388-day market supply. Dealers have over 25,000 of these sitting around, and they are likely going to have to slash prices to move them. Number 1, the Ram 2500. And finally, we reach the number 1 slowest selling vehicle in America, the Ram 2500. This is the heavy hitter of the unsellables. You would think a big, powerful American truck would fly off the lots, but Stellantis, the parent company of Ram, has hit a massive pricing wall. Even with a recent redesign and better engines, these trucks are sitting for an average of 392 days. Think about that. There are trucks sitting on lots right now that have been there for over a year. The problem is simple. They are too expensive. Dealers are trying to hold on to high profit margins, refusing to offer the deep discounts that buyers expect for a vehicle that's been sitting in the sun for 13 months. With over 8,000 units unsold, the Ram 2500 is a giant warning sign for the entire truck industry. If you're a truck buyer, hold your ground because the prices have to come down eventually because dealers simply cannot afford to store these forever. The common theme across all 10 of these cars is a disconnect between what the manufacturer wants to charge and what the consumer is actually willing to pay. Whether it's outdated technology, terrifying depreciation, or just flat-out bad pricing, the market is sending a loud and clear message. The seller's market is over. If you're looking at any of the cars on this list, you are in the driver's seat. You have the power to walk away, and you have the power to demand a much better deal than what's on the sticker. Just make sure you're okay with the reasons why they are sitting there in the first place. What do you think? Is there any amount of discount that would make you buy a car with a 1-year supply? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like so you don't miss our next market update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.